Hello everyone, this is Merritt Trainboy speaking, and here in this video, I am going to show you what I have bought from Toys R Us before they had finally closed down. In case if you haven't seen my recent video of my last trip to the Toys R Us stores, you will find the link to it in the video's description. So without any other further ado, let's check out these items which were from Toys R Us. Okay guys, so here I'm going to show you what I have got from Toys R Us from day one. And I think we'll take a look at what's inside this small bag first. So the first item that we are going to take a look at is from the Thomas & Friends wood range, and it's Diesel. Now before we take him out of his packaging, I'll give you a good look around it. So you can see here, there's a nice diorama in the background. And now we'll have a look in the back. And here it talks about the information of the character, depending who it is. And you see there it says, meet the troublemaker. And we all know that Diesel could sometimes be a troublemaker. That's why he is called Devious Diesel, always up to mischief. And there's the top, and here's the bottom. And there's his name, Diesel. And now let's get him open. So here he is out of his packaging, so we can take a good look around him. Although I know you guys may not like this sort of range because a lot of these engines have this less paint on them. Although it would have been much nicer if these models were painted all over. But I don't mind that this is sort of lining on them like these ladders and steps. Probably they could have left out, and that way we could see the signs of wood through them. And the reason why I got this is because if you have seen my video from last year where I was showing the wood version of Thomas along with a playset, and because of those two trains which were a regular Thomas and another Thomas covered in paint splats, I thought why not have a Diesel engine which is from the range. And so this is what I got, Diesel. And I think he's the only one released in this sort of range so far. And there's his name right there. Probably they could have just painted the whole model completely in paint, but maybe they could have left out the paint on the chassis. But I would like to hear your thoughts on this sort of range. And since I have a wooden railway model of Diesel, let's do a side-by-side comparison. So as you can see here, there's a lot of differences to be spot on. So you see what I mean? Although the back on the wood version is pretty dull looking. So yeah, which one of these would you prefer? I'm pretty much preferring this one because it's got a lot more paint than this one. But like I said before, it would have been nicer if this model has more paint on it than this. Although this lining on it would have been perfect as well. But let me know in the comments. And that's pretty much I could think about. Now, the next item that we are going to take a look at has caught my eye, and this is a bath squirter Thomas. So, if you guys have seen my video where I was showing my Thomas tank collection, you'll know that I own 2 bath squirter Thomases. But this one that I got is more of a latest version of it. So, I'll give you a quick spin round so you can see the difference. So yeah, you see this is the latest version of the bath squirter Thomas. And you see what I mean? It's got a CGI style face, and on the back has a added rear lamp. And looking right here, it says 2016 Ghislaine Thomas Limited. So this latest version must have been made back in 2016 with that CGI style face. It's still in the same molding, but the face has been changed. So you see what I mean? So here we are in my bathroom, and as you can see, this bathtub is full of water. And so we can give this squirter Thomas to squirt some water. And as you can see, I have cut off the tag which was wrapped around it. So here we go. Gosh, it's losing some water already. Whoa, there we go. So you see that? There was some water coming out of the funnel. Although sometimes you just have to make sure that there's enough water for it to suck up. Before you would go ahead and squirt it out. Although, I have to admit, this Thomas water squirter seems to squirt water pretty well. So right now, let's move on to the next item. Next, here is something which I was eager to get. The Trackmaster Speed and Spark Thomas. So yeah, you see here the wheels were turning while some light was going on, and that light was supposed to represent the spark from Thomas's wheels. And before we get Thomas out of his packaging, let's take a good look around it. So you see there's the front. And there's the back. And you see here what I mean about the light. Thomas's back wheels light up. And there's also a Speed and Spark version of Percy. And here's the top. And there's the bottom. So there you are. Now let's get Thomas out of his packaging. So here's Thomas out of his packaging so we can take a good look around him. And all I could say about this model is that it looks excellent. There's the spark effects on him. And as we take a look at the face, this face looks exactly like the one on the Thomas, which came from the Sky High Bridge Jump set, and the Streamlined Thomas, which is from the Raceway set, I think. And there's this button right here to make the wheels turn. So yeah, I figured that probably once it's out of its packaging, the wheels would turn for a long time. Because in the packaging, the wheels were just turning for a short time. And as for the instructions, which were supposed to come with the engine, apparently the instructions were hidden right here. So apparently that's a bit sneaky. But here they are. There we go. And there are the instructions that comes with the Speed and Spark Thomas. And it shows you how it works and how many batteries it takes. And of course on the back shows the usual battery information, blah blah. So here's the Speed and Spark Thomas on some track, which I have put together in an oval. A very long oval, that is. So we can give him a test run. So off he goes. And you can see here there's the light spark effect that's going on. Totally looks like that Thomas is trying to apply his brakes. Well, that was a good test run. So let's move on for now. Now, since we already took a look at what's inside this small bag here, let's see what's inside this much larger bag. And you can see here, there's only one item, since this is a very large bag. Leo Kim Video had made an interesting video about this Trackmaster train set, which is a part of the Sodor Snowstorm series. And you see here, this is the Snowy Mountain Rescue set. Unfortunately, Leo got really frustrated with this train set, the fact it keeps failing on him. So, to Leo Kim Video, sorry, but I wanted to try this out for myself because I wanted to see how frustrating it could be. So before we crack this box open, let me show you a good look at it. So you see there's the front. And on this side shows what's also available in the series. And there's the back, where it shows the full set. And here on this other side of the box, shows what's inside. And here's the exclusive Thomas that comes in the set, where it's being protected by this plastic bubble wrap, whatever you call it. Unfortunately, it's already broken. It's already being broken away. But that wouldn't matter because I could easily pull this off. So I'll just get Thomas out first, because this part is broken. Whew, there we go. Now I can take the rest of the stuff out of the box. So here's everything out of the box, and it'll take a minute to put this whole thing together. So here's the set all set up, and here's Thomas ready for his run. So off he goes. There goes the mountain. And as for this crane here, just let me flip the switch and wait for Thomas to come. And there he is on the ice, but we'll rescue him. So like I said, as for the crane, I got no issues with it. While I'm rescuing Thomas. So yeah, no issues at the moment. And these pieces, of course, you know, could easily be reset. So that was a good test run for Thomas on this layout. Now let's investigate with this piece, which is a part of this icy mountain. Now, in the video that Leokin video was discussing with this set, every time a piece of rolling stock comes through this mountain, that plastic piece pushes it off the track. So you see that? That's because this piece is way more thicker than these rolling stocks. Now, whoever thought that of putting this large piece of plastic inside this mountain, which is a part of this train set, and thought that would be a good idea, shouldn't be working with Mattel, because that piece of plastic was way too thick for these rolling stocks, because they're more lighter than this. But in case if you're not sure what I mean, then here I got this piece of rolling stock coupled up to Thomas, and here's a second one coupled up behind it. Only there's two that Thomas is pulling because Leo had the cars pull 3 in the last round. So you see what I mean? That piece of plastic has been jamming the cars. And if you try to force it out, then those cars could easily get derailed. So you see what I mean there? And no matter if you try to get the cars back on, and once you got them out freely, they'll get stuck again. So yeah, this seems to be really frustrating here. But I think I know the perfect solution on how to fix that. So here we're just going to use one truck because we're going to be putting some weights in it, like these batteries, because they have some weight in it. And it will make them heavy, and we'll use this load to cover the batteries up. And I could feel how heavy this truck is now. So let's see if this works. There goes Thomas. Will it work? Yes! So you see, by adding a little bit of weight inside these pieces of rolling stock, like this, they could work well on this set. And they wouldn't have any problems of going through the mountain. So there we are. We just fixed that problem for Leokin video. And that is, if you just load a little bit of weight inside a truck and use some cargo like this to cover it up, then it would really look like that you have a heavy piece of rolling stock to go through that mountain, and it wouldn't get easily derailed due to this piece of plastic. So maybe that would be a lesson for you guys. add a little bit of weight to your rolling stock to make them work on this train set. Alright, now let's take a look at what I have got in this bag here from Toys R Us on day 2. So here's the first item from the bag, and this is the Wooden Railway Thomas and Percy starter set. And I suppose you guys would say that they still had a few Thomas Wooden Railway stuff in the Toys R Us stores, since there were mostly Thomas Wood stuff. Now, the reason why I decided to get this little train set in the first place is because of this little caboose, which is included. And you see, I already have a caboose, but it's a older design, and this one is a newer design, and that's why I wanted this caboose in the first place. So, I'll give you a good look around the box before I crack it open. There's the side where it shows what's inside. And there's the back. And here on this other side talks about the information of Thomas Wooden Railway. And here we are at the front again. So, without further ado, let's crack it open and put this set together. So there we are, all set up. And apparently this is how you play with your trains, since this is a starter set. Now we'll just have a look at the engines and the caboose real quick before we can move on. So here we have Thomas. And this is just a regular stock standard Thomas. Although I'm not sure if you guys know, but sometime in 2015 or 16, the number 1 has been changed to a different design. I just want to point that out for you guys, because if you remember last year I did the video with the 2017 Thomas. And now here's Percy. He looks good. Just a stock standard Percy, that is. Though I can't see any differences. Probably that number 6. I don't know. But let me know in the comments. And lastly, here's the Sodor line caboose. And this one, which is in this design, is something which I have always wanted. And there's the underneath, says Sodor line caboose. So yeah, I'm just happy to have this caboose in this design, in this look, in my hands, in my Wooden Railway collection. Oh, and I almost forgot about the instructions which are included in this set. So here they are. And apparently I didn't need these instructions since I just built up the set anyway, but somehow they were hidden in here, so yeah, very sneaky. And this one goes in the trash. So now let's take a break from the Thomas stuff. And this next item that we are going to take a look at is a bit more Disney related. Or should I say Pixar related. Bam! This is the Woody the Sheriff ragdoll figure from Thinkway Toys, which is a part of the Toy Story Signature Collection series. And I can tell that because you can see here there's a signature included with every character. And I could see the signature in the box. I'm not sure if you guys could see it, but it's in there. And you see, I've really been interested in having this for quite some time. I just can't remember when, but it was way back before I got myself onto YouTube, of course. But yeah, years later, I had finally managed to get this. So before we get Woody out, let's take a good look at the box artwork. And you can see here, this is Woody's roundup form. And looking inside, there's some bits and bulbs next to Woody, along with the certificate. When there's his hat. And here's the side of the box. And here's the back. Talks about the information about the character and how it works. And right here there's a try me hole right here where you can pull Woody's string.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
Sorry about that. It's just hard to do it with only one hand. And there's the other side. And here's the front again. So now, without further ado, let's get Woody open so he could breathe properly. Phew! Well, there he is. Sheriff Woody. All free from his box. And of course I know that he wouldn't be able to stand on his feet because he's a rag doll. But that's why this piece comes next. So you see, with these two things, once you put them together, and then have Woody be connected to here, there we are, then it'll make it look like that he is standing. So let's just listen a few phrases from him.
Ha-ha! Boy, am I glad to see you. Howdy, partner. My name's Sheriff Woody. Reach for the sky. You're my favorite deputy. Well, pull my string.
And I'm just showing a few phrases that he says. Just don't want to show the whole thing. But probably some other time, him I can. And every character comes with this certificate. You could pause the video if you want to read it.
but that's the certificate.
Well, that's all the stuff that I got from Toys R Us before they finally closed down. Hope you guys have enjoyed looking at them. And you see, during the final making of this video, I've heard that they're actually bringing Toys R Us back. So, is that true? That really sounds like good news. And for sure, it'll be ready in time for the holidays. But anyway, again, I hope you have enjoyed looking all this stuff, which we're seeing in this video. And stay tuned for some more that I'm planning to make for this year. And until next time, everyone, thanks for watching. And this is Merritt Trainboy signing off.